Alright then gang, so now I want to show you another data structure called a map. And a map in Dart is a little bit like an object literal in something like JavaScript in that they contain key value pairs, but there are some differences which we will cover as well. So the way we can make a new map is by creating a variable, which I'm going to call planets, and then we can set that equal to curly braces. And this creates an empty map to begin with, and we can add some key values pairs to it. Now, you might be thinking that curly braces, when we used them before, were to make a set, right? And they were. We could use curly braces as well to make a set. And in fact, if we added a bunch of comma-separated values into these curly braces now, then this would be a set. But we also use curly braces to make a map. And when we just use an empty set of curly braces, that creates an empty map, not an empty set. To create an empty set, we'd have to annotate this variable to be a set explicitly, all right? Okay, so now we have this empty map, and we can see that if we click on it, it's going to tell us in the bottom right corner that we have a map. And then in angle brackets, we see dynamic, comma, dynamic. So what does that mean? Well, when we create a map, we basically have a bunch of key value pairs inside that map, right? And the values are going to have a data type, but also the keys will have a data type too. And these things in angle brackets are saying what those types are. The first one is the type of the keys, and the second one is the type of the values. Now, at the moment, they're both inferred as being dynamic, and the dynamic type in Dart is basically a way of saying it could be any type in the future. And Dart is inferring this dynamic type because it doesn't have enough information about the keys and values yet because we've not added any. However, if we add a key, which we'll set to be a string, first, for example, in this case, and then if we assign a value to that key, which is also a string, which will be Mercury, because that's the first planet, right, nearest to the sun, then Dart will have enough information to infer actual types of the keys and values for this map. And if we click on the variable now, we should see map, and then in angle brackets, string and string, because the key is a string, and also the value is a string. So then, the values have types in a map, and also the keys have types as well. In this case, the key is a string, but we could also use numbers as the keys if we wanted to. So I could change this to 1, and then if we click on the planets variable, we can see map and then int and string, okay? So now it's inferring the int type as a key and not a string. So all of this is Dart inferring the types for us again. But we can also explicitly add the type annotations as well. To do that, we change var into map, and then in angle brackets, we can specify the types of keys and values in this map. So I might want all of the keys to be integers and all of the values to be strings. So I would say int and then string. And now if we try to add different types for either of those two things, we'd get an error because they wouldn't be conforming to the types that we've annotated right here. So I'm actually going to change this back to string, and then we're going to get an error right here because we're using an integer as the key, and it should be a string now. So let's change this back to a string, and this is going to be first again. We're going to add some more in. So let's say second, and the second one is going to be Venus. Let's do the third one, which is going to be Earth. Let's do the fourth one, and the fourth one is going to be Mars. And then let's do the fifth one, which is going to be Jupiter. All right, so we have the first 5 planets now. What I would like to do is try printing the planets out first of all. So we'll say print planets like so and run this. Hopefully we're going to see all of them over here. I think I already did that. Yep, we can see all of them. Okay, cool. Now, what if we want to access just one of those planets? Well, this is where it's a bit different from something like JavaScript objects, because in JavaScript, we'd say planets.third or planets.fourth to access those values, but we don't do that with maps in Dart. When we use maps, we use square brackets, and then we pass in the key name, so a string in this case, and then we could say third, and that's going to get us this one, which is Earth right here. Let's change this to fifth, and run it. Hopefully that's going to work. Yeah. All right, so what if we wanted to update one of these values? Well, we could say planet, and then again, square bracket notation, pass in the key of the value we want to update. So I could say fifth, and we're going to change that to, I don't know, A, B, C, D, E, F. And then if we run this now, when we print out this fifth element, we should see this new value because we've updated it and not this original one. Awesome. All right, so what if we wanted to add a value that's not already there? So I could say sixth right here, and this is Uranus. So let's run this now. Hopefully, oops, we need to just print out the planets and not the fifth one. Hopefully when we do this, we're going to see all of them, including that sixth one right here, which we do. Awesome. All right, so let's try a few different things. Now what I'd like to do is try adding an element where the key is not a string. So for example, if I change this to the number 6, an integer instead, then we're going to get an error because 6 right here is not a string. And we've said that this map must have strings as the keys. So it's going to give us an error and it won't let us do this. Likewise, if we try to change the value of this to something like a number, we're going to also get an error because all of the values must be strings as well. So it won't let us do this. Okay, so now let's have a look at a few different properties and methods that we can use with maps. So what I'm going to do is print something to the console over here, and I'm going to say planets and then use a method called contains key. So this allows us to check if a certain key exists in a map, this one here. So what we do is pass in as an argument the key that we want to check, for example, third. And then if we run this, it's going to return a Boolean this, either true or false. Hopefully true in this case, because it does contain that key. We should see true up here in a second. Again, if it stalls like this, just press refresh and run it again, and it should work eventually. Yep, we can see true. Okay, let's try something that doesn't exist, like seventh, and we should see false over here instead. Yep, we can see false. We can do the same thing with values, so we can see if it contains a certain value. I'm going to keep this at seventh because we know that doesn't exist as a value, so we get false. But if we change this to something like Earth, which we know does exist as a value, then we should see true. All right, so we can also remove elements. So I could say planets.remove, and we're going to remove Earth. And if we run that, then let's take a look at what happens. Well, we get null. So right here, when we use the remove method, we don't actually use the value. We have to pass in the key. So if I want to remove Earth, I have to pass in the key, which is third. Then it looks for that key and it removes the key value pair. So now if I run, hopefully it's going to work. We can see that we get Earth returned to us right here. That's what it returns, the value that we're actually removing. And if we take a look down here where we output the planets, then we should see that Earth has gone. Yes. All right then. So we can also do other things. I'm going to just press a dot here. You're going to see all the different properties and methods we have access to. So for example, we could get all the keys. That's a property. And if we run this, then we should see a list of all these different keys right here, which we do. We can do the same thing with the values as well. So if we run that, we should see all the different values. And if you want to play around with some different methods and properties yourself, you can do. You just press a dot right here, and inside Dartpad, it's going to give you all of the different properties and methods that we can use. For example, we can use remove where, and we pass in a function which returns a Boolean, true or false. So it performs some kind of test. So we could say, okay, inside this function, we want to return true if the number of letters in the value is greater than a certain amount. Okay, so there's loads of different things we can do with maps. Definitely have a little play around with them. I think that'll do us for now. In the next lesson, what I'd like to do is move on to classes.